welcome to, what is this, episode 4 of the Boys Back Home podcast.
Yeah,
Today we're going to be doing mostly sports stuff regarding the NBA, just started back up, and a little bit of the NFL as well. Actually, majority NFL here because of the playoffs are coming up, obviously. So we kind of want to just touch on the NBA, how it started off, and then we'll get into the playoff predictions here for the NFL and kind of just go over the whole picture here. So yeah, we can just hop right into the NBA. So we talked about on Sunday the James Harden stuff with him probably being on the move. But in regard to the Rockets with the rest of the teams that they added, where the rest of the players they added, like John Wall and Boogie Cousins, people have been slandering them a lot, but I mean they've been playing out of their minds. They've been playing really, really good, especially for two people coming off of the injuries that they've been coming off. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of tell people to relax on the slander. It's only 3 games into the season. Just let them play. All right, they'll figure it out. The rest of the team's looking good. But yeah, I mean that's just a little something there. I just a little sick of the Twitter slander that I've seen of these two specific guys. But we're gonna hop into the Warriors too because they have been looking like trash recently. I don't know if you saw the graphic, but it was Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins like shooting. And they've combined like 2 for like 30 or something on threes this season. Kelly Oubre literally hasn't hit a jump shot yet through 3 games.
Yeah, he's like 0 for 32 on non-dunking field goals, right?
Which is like absolutely ridiculous. And
yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then Steph's not doing too hot either, right?
Yeah, so
like 2 of 30 something from 3 or something, or 3 of 15 from 3 and something weird.
I think that was his last game. Yeah,
I don't know if that was one of the games, which is
unlike
odd
Steph.
for him.
But what people are forgetting is that he's so much better when he has people to space. Like if Kelly Oubre hasn't hit a jump shot yet, like you can't expect Steph to just be a superhero and just like break through double and triple teams to go shoot over people. Like people just are just trapping Steph every game and just not allowing him to score. Which I mean, that's the way you do it, right? If nobody's hitting shots in their team.
Yeah, because I think really what the Warriors are right now or what the Warriors normally are, you could consider them kind of like. Normally they're like a 10 bell fire, right? Like you got a fire, you got different levels of fire. You got like your 10 bell, which is like crazy out of control. Mm-hmm. You got to send planes in to put it out. You got like 5s, which are low or whatever. They're not as bad. Yeah. I think right now they're like a 3, and Steph Curry is the source of that fire, and they're just choking that fire out by double teaming Steph, and it's like no one else can really get anything done. It's not spreading. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Like they literally have nobody.
Fucking perfect analogy. Not a big deal.
I agree. Like they just don't have anybody. Like James Wiseman's probably their best shooter right now, besides Steph, and it's like this is like maybe last week at some point. Steve Kerr said that they've only practiced with the rookie James Wiseman 5 times this year because of like Corona and all that. So it's like you can't expect somebody to jump into the Warriors system after 5 games of practice. So him being the second best part of that team is a little scary for
what's his name? Wiseman? Is that his name? Right?
Yeah, James Wiseman.
Yeah, and what did he go, second?
Yeah, behind Edwards.
Okay. Edwards.
Yeah, but yeah, so I just wanted just kind of crazy to see like such a fall off because I mean we're talking about a team that was in the finals 2 years ago. It's like they've just come a long way. I mean, it sucks. I mean, you lose Clay 1 year, and then the next year he comes back, and now he's gone again before the season even starts, and it's like, damn, And now you kind of just see like what Steph is like on his own, which is what people have been saying for years. Like like I said, people.
Well, I mean, it's not a knock on Steph.
Yeah,
really,
people want it to be, but I agree it's not at all because, I mean, look at his
team
pieces.
sport.
Andrew Wiggins is at 2 threes, and Kelly Oubre hasn't hit a jump shot. It's like, how do you?
But if your argument as to why Steph isn't good is because he can't carry a team, like
that's a shitty argument.
That's fucking crazy. Exactly. That's crazy for anybody.
Yeah, I had a tweet earlier. I think you actually liked it, but I had a tweet. I think it was earlier or maybe it was yesterday, but it was like, there's this guy on Twitter talking about. He was replying in the comments of somebody saying that Steph Curry and the Celtics need each other, and he was saying the amount of missed shots. This is the tweet right here. I'm not even gonna say it.
Steph Curry and the Celtics need each other?
That's what the original tweet said. I don't think he was like serious. He's just saying like whatever. Anyways, the reply to that tweet was the amount of missed shots Boston puts up, and to add a guy that throws up 15 3-pointers himself, you might as well need to get a new coach too. And I just saw that tweet and I was like, bro,
I did see something like that.
Like, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, literally. Like, it's not even close.
Right.
Like, it's
he actually
legitimately not even close.
That's not like it's not an exaggeration, not like a Like, that's legit a fact.
That's like
it actually
that's like just looking at the stat sheet and being like, oh, Steph went 0 for 15 today or 3 for 15 today. He must be terrible. It's like,
right.
no, dude. Like you can't shoot over 3 people. Like I mean,
Right, but to argue that Steph Curry isn't good just because he's
chucking
like,
shots
in a slump right now or whatever is like what do you want him to do
Literally.
right now? Because it's like they don't have anybody on the team, so you have to throw up all these shots every game. Because I mean, look at Oubre, look at whoever else isn't
Wiggins.
Who'd you just say? Fucking Higgins,
Wiggins,
or Wiggins. He's like they're not performing.
Exactly.
So it's what do you want him to do?
Exactly. If I was him too,
Like-
I'm chucking threes too. Why not, bro? Like,
Right.
what else are they gonna do?
I
No
mean,
one else is creating offense.
like-
You might as well just
Yeah,
try your best. Like,
and especially if you're in a slump too, you want to try to get out of that slump.
Exactly.
So you're gonna put up as many as you
he
can.
cut his hair.
When you're Steph Curry too,
Yeah.
like
It's not like we're talking about fucking.
we're not talking about Rondo
yeah,
or
exactly.
something, but
We're
it's
talking
like
about the greatest shooter of all time, 2-time MVP,
Right.
3-time champion. Like, this is Steph Curry. We're talking about people. Don't forget. But yeah, it's just such a crazy fall from grace. I mean, they'll be back on top as soon as Clay's back. I mean, Curry's nowhere near the age where he's going to be dropping off anytime soon. So, as soon as they get Clay back, I mean, they'll be scary again. But as of right now, they're kind of not really a team you got to worry
you
about.
think so though?
I think so.
Just with Clay?
Yeah,
Well, they're missing
100%.
Draymond too, correct?
Yeah, he's like he'll be back like soon, but
Is he hurt or
yeah,
what is
yeah.
he? COVID? or
No,
something?
he was hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, no, all they need is Clay. I mean, there's no Clay
Really?
and Curry are a playoff team like that. Them two,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I think so at least.
Okay.
Because I mean, like I was saying with Wiseman, he's been playing good enough in a system where they've never had a center. So like, I think that by next season when they have Clay back, you think you got Clay, you got Curry, you got Draymond, he's either declining or just not trying. Which I mean, I can't blame him.
Who's this Draymond?
Yeah. I'm saying he's either
He's
either declining or he's
okay,
just
so
like not giving the effort because why would you if you're on a 15-win team?
right. Well, I mean, the effort thing I don't know about, but the decline I don't think is something that is totally crazy because you want to look at like I don't know about NBA. Like I said, I don't watch a ton of NBA. I
Yeah.
think I'm not as big a fan as you are, but like the NFL, let's say, like a running back, his prime is like 5 years or whatever. Quarterback, it's like 6, 7, maybe 8, 10 for the guys who are really good.
20.
So I don't even
Okay.
know what like a
Top eight.
prime is for like a player in each position in the NBA, but I mean they were good for so long.
Yeah,
And they,
well,
like,
so it depends.
just because they weren't winning championships every year doesn't mean, which they basically
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
It's you can only sustain that level of deep playoff runs for 7 or 5, 6 years
Yeah.
straight, where they're probably going to the finals every year. That's a ton of basketball to be playing.
Well, yeah.
And these guys are also. This is sort of in a new era of load management, if I'm correct.
yeah.
The last like 2 to 3 seasons,
Yeah.
where it's
People are just taking games off.
it's more
just 'cause.
common practice that exactly like to rest and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's like you're having guys that are ideally they're trying to play all 82 games, and then they're playing sometimes another. I mean, very rarely another 16 on top of that, or not 16, like what 30
For what?
something, right? How many
Playoffs?
So if
Playoffs,
yeah,
you
if
can go
play
16 and
some-
0 if you won
28?
everything.
Yeah, 28 is like the max, right? You can
Something
play.
like that. Yeah,
Something
sure.
like that. Yeah, 28 would be like if you went to 4 game sevens. So, it's these guys are playing upwards of close to 100 something
I mean,
games.
No, you're right. But
I mean, the Warriors weren't because they were sweeping people, but it's like so you do that for 5, 6 seasons in a row. It's like
since 2015.
it's you can only sustain a level of dominance for so long before it's like it's not even weird that he's declining. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah, I agree. But I was more on the thing of like, he doesn't. If I'm Draymond Green, right, and I'm
Am I
like,
yelling?
no, if I'm Draymond Green and I'm like 30, right, and I'm on a 15-win Warriors team, talking about last year, and because Clay and Steph were both injured for the whole season, like there's
Yeah.
not as much motivation there to be going 110% because he knows no matter how good he plays, he's just not that type of guy that can bring them to a playoff spot, especially in the packed West. So so last year he didn't play a lot of games. I think he played like under 40 games last year because of injury.
Yep.
And so in my mind, I'm thinking, he's said in the past too that he's like a March player, like he's an April player, like he's there, he's playing in the playoffs. That's where he like really hits his stride, which is obvious. And a guy like him who's not athletic, really, he's definitely lost some defensive touch. Like he used to play small ball 5. I don't think he's capable of that anymore, just because of.
Right.
I mean, he's just older now, but I still think that if he's a serviceable player, just because of his IQ alone, like he's just a really smart player. So I feel like with all 3 of them healthy next year, and the addition of Wiseman having a year under his belt, I feel like that could be enough to
And what does Wiseman play? Is he a power forward?
He's
or
a center, a real
or?
center.
Okay, he's a true center.
Yeah. I mean, he could stretch the floor, but he's not like he's not really like a four. So yeah, I don't know. I think they'll be fine next season. I don't know about this season, but it kind of depends. I mean, maybe you get something on Wiggins eventually.
This Warriors gonna be off this year. Like,
yeah,
they just 6 years of being 5 years of being debatably the greatest franchise of all time.
Yeah,
like
100%.
With the Bulls,
100%.
like it's like in the Celtics, the Lakers, whatever. So it's especially to do it in today's game. That's why I always think. I think any player in today's game of any sort of major sports, like where baseball, hockey, football, basketball, like it's like to dominate in today's game with all the analytics, with all the training that every player is receiving, like these guys are optimized to be the best athletes of all time.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And they're playing at the highest level that the game's ever been played. So to dominate the way that the Warriors did, the way the Patriots did, the way that the Chicago Blackhawks
it's not easy.
It's not. No, it's probably the hardest it's ever been. And so it's like, dude, you can only do it for so long.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
the Patriots are an outlying, like, ridiculous once in a lifetime, maybe ever sustained level of dominance, and to have these guys even doing it 5 or 6 years in a row is something where I think people,
especially in basketball, you don't understand
exactly
how long the seasons are. You don't understand how much travel they do and how many, like, it's a 7-game series every round. And I mean, like you said, if you're the Warriors, maybe it's only a 4-game series, but it's not like it's a 4-game series because it's a 4-game series because of how much effort they're putting in every single game to win every single game.
And I think it's more so in basketball. I think especially basketball and hockey, whereas every guy on the ice or every guy on the court has to be meshing perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that.
The puck's moving around so fast. The ball's moving around so fast. Every guy has to do their job extremely well.
We saw that last year with the Clippers. I mean, they weren't in sync because their guys weren't playing as much last year because they were taking games off.
Super skilled guys.
I mean, that game,
some of the best players in the league, and they're just not in sync.
Yeah, and that team was supposed to be a champion. I mean, people predicted them to win the championship before the Lakers,
absolutely.
And it's like you saw just all it was just they didn't have chemistry, and it's like to build chemistry, you all have to be clicking. You all have to be on the same exact wave the entire series essentially. And we saw last year, like you were just saying, to build on that, how hard it is to be dominant. We saw last year just the strain that it took on the Warriors, or 2 years ago, that it took on the Warriors. I mean, Kevin Durant went down in the finals, Boogie went down in the finals, Clay went down in the finals. Like, I mean, they're just putting like so much stress on their bodies every single game, every single season, especially with the Warriors dynasty with KD. I mean, that's 3 straight finals trips. So every single year they have the shortest offseason no matter what. So it's like these guys are just, I mean, Kevin Durant hasn't lost a step, but like Steph Curry and Clay, you don't know, like, I mean, Steph Curry, Clay, and Draymond, like, you don't know how much time they have to, I mean, even rehabbing what Clay's going through right now and going through last season, he hasn't played like the real basketball, like he hasn't been able to get in a groove in like 2 years because he was injured for an entire season last season. I think he played some preseason this year, maybe he even got injured before that, but
Clay? Yeah,
I forget.
No, Clay I don't think he did.
Yeah,
he hurt himself in a practice, right? Before the preseason even started, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he did too, actually.
So he might have had a couple of training.
But it's like, it's like you're not playing real.
He didn't have any actual live minutes.
Exactly. So it's like, and especially with the Corona, like there's the shortened off season. It's like, I don't know. I mean, we're going to see. I just don't see a team. I don't see a team like the Warriors with the culture that they built, like being willing to deal any guys. Like I think they'd just rather just run it back next year with all their 3 guys healthy and see what happens. But maybe after that they look to move some guys. But I just think that this team is still dangerous next year. Just because of, I mean, Clay is just such a he's if anybody's to recover from an injury like the one that he got, I think it was an ACL tear this time. It's a guy like him who doesn't need to worry about dunking on people. He's just shooting threes.
Achilles, right?
Well, that was the first one. I think it was an ACL this time though. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think last season was Achilles.
Was the
this
first
season
time.
was ACL.
Achilles
okay,
was
so
this time.
Flipped then. Okay. Either way, bottom line, they don't.
Vice versa. It doesn't matter. I mean,
he's not an athletic guy. He's not an athletic guy that needs to worry about an injury like an Achilles. Where you look at like someone like John Wall, who people thought were going to slow down because of the Achilles, because of how athletic he is. I mean, like you see, like with Derrick Rose back in the day, like he tore his ACL on his Achilles, and he's never been the same. But a guy like Clay who doesn't even need to worry about athleticism. Obviously, he's might slow down a little bit, but it's like he's if he's not like the second best shooter of all time, he's like the third. So it's like that jump shot's not going
Who's that,
anywhere.
Clay?
Yeah. So I feel like this team's still dangerous next season.
And actually,
Depending
that
on,
even that
who's
that
back.
point even goes back to what you're saying. What I was saying about the chemistry. You're looking at three of the best shooters, maybe of all time, maybe the top
Mhm.
three of all time, sitting on the same team. So this even goes back to last week. You're talking about Kyrie.
Yeah.
So you have Kyrie, who's a guy who can hit any shot he wants to
Yeah.
hit, but he has to get in that groove first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's got to
He
chuck.
can't. He's not Klay Thompson. Where Klay Thompson's the best pick. What's the catch and shoot guy of all
Yeah.
time? Correct.
Yeah.
I think.
I would say so.
I like I said, I don't watch a lot of basketball, like I said, but
No,
like
it's definitely
just
true.
from what I've seen, I mean, I've never
Yeah,
seen
catch
a
and
better
shoot, 100%,
catch and shooter
100%.
than Klay Thompson. So you have that guy. So you have that, which is a huge advantage because he doesn't have to get into that groove. He can come off the bench and bang 6 threes in a row on 2
Yeah.
dribbles. So that's a huge advantage, obviously. But you have the Steph Curry, you have KD, who also aren't. They can catch and shoot, but they preferably
They
get
can
into that
create
groove
as
first.
well.
But an even bigger advantage is that they don't. What's it take them 3 shots to get into that groove? Where it might take
I got
Kyrie
you, okay.
2.5 quarters or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
To get to like that clutch, like so. Then to have all those guys playing at the same time on the same court, and they're all getting in their grooves in such a short amount of time, and consistently doing that every game, like it just speaks to how confident those guys are in each other, just how good they are
Yeah.
overall. Like, they're just
The system is
exceptional
perfect.
generational talents. So then to have all of that, and now you're like, oh, these guys suck. I mean, it's like, yeah, no shit. Like, what do you want them to do? Like, you can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
You can't be like that for 10 years. Like, it can't be done. No one's ever done that. No one's ever going to do that. Like, it's
True.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm on your side with the whole like, come on, man. Like, did they not give you enough? Like,
Yeah, let's just relax on the Warriors slander. They'll
Right.
probably be back
Exactly.
next year, and if they're not, it's been 5
Right.
straight seasons of complete dominance. So
complete dominance
yeah,
over
so
an 82 game season.
we can move on though. I mentioned KD earlier not being phased by his injury, which is the next thing I have here in the notes. He's looked
Yeah, he really
phenomenal.
isn't, which is
really
crazy.
still looks like the second best player in the league behind LeBron.
Especially from an Achilles
Yeah.
injury too, which is really hard to even one play again after,
Yeah.
but 2 to come back and be as good as he is.
Yeah,
now.
I mean people bring up like
because Bookie did it too, right? Bookie hurt
Yeah,
himself, or he
but
hurt
he's
the
not
Achilles
even
too,
close
and he
to.
came back and
He's good.
Right.
He's not close to where he was before, but he's still
but he's
good.
not what he was.
Yeah, 100%. The only person in
So-
NBA history has really been like, what's his name, Dominique Wilkins, which was like in the 70s or 80s. So it's like,
Right.
that's like, I mean, there's like 20 guys on that list who have torn their Achilles and came back worse than they were before. So
It's usually not. Yeah, it's usually not a career ender in the sense you never play again, but you'll never play to the level
yeah,
you
your
played
numbers
before
drop
again
100%. Yeah.
most of the time.
Which is weird because now we just saw KD and John Wall both coming off Achilles injuries, both looking pretty good. I mean, KD looking like he hasn't lost a step at all. John Wall still looking pretty good. The speed is still there, which
Right.
is the most
Okay.
surprising part. Because John Wall
I
is
haven't,
known
yeah, I
as
haven't seen John Wall play yet, but
yeah. I mean, they've only played I think he's only played preseason games because I'm pretty sure he's been on the COVID list for like the first 2
Okay.
games of their regular season.
yeah,
But like a big thing with him was just, I mean, he's been like the fastest guy in the league for a couple of years, and then he gets an Achilles
Right.
injury. So people are like, oh, well, now he's lost his speed. Like, what does he do now that he can't blow by defenders if he can't shoot? But I mean, he seems to still have pretty much all of his speed back, if not, I mean, close to, if not all of his speed back. So it's a good thing to see, I guess, out of him. Even if you're not a Rockets fan, obviously you wanted to see guys healthy. The more competition, the better.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we can move on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like yeah, I agree. I kind of enjoy just seeing, like, especially for someone who's I root for the Celtics. I'll watch the Celtics. I want them to
Yeah.
win, but I'll enjoy. I can enjoy just a good game.
Yeah,
you
who
know,
doesn't
like
love
where-
watching
And it's
a guy like John Wall
right, you
dunking on
wanna see
people and
guys-
stuff?
right.
Yeah, but speaking of Celtics, we can move on to that. We touched on it a little bit on Sunday, but we can kind of get into it a little more. So the first point I have here is just the Celtics fans in general. They're so annoying lately. Like last week,
I think NBA Twitter is like that, dude.
yeah, well last week,
Of all the sports Twitters, NBA is like that, where it's like they like with the Warriors, where it's like they could that's 79 or whatever the fucking
72 and
three. What were they 73? Yeah, that like if they had a off game in the middle of a 15-game win streak, people like, I mean, I don't know about this
Yeah.
team. They fucking these guys can't shoot for shit. And it's like, dude, it's like one game.
yeah,
Like,
last week Kemba was on the sideline with like a Yankees hat on, And people started quote tweeting and being like, "Bad sign." Like, dude, he's from Brooklyn. Like, he's just
Yeah,
he
I mean,
can't.
he might,
He might move to the. He might go to the
And I think
Yankees.
he knows Kyrie Irving too, right? Like he's heard of him,
Yeah,
so
yeah. No, he's going to the
he
Yankees.
might go to
This,
Brooklyn.
this just in. Kemba Walker traded to the
He might,
Yankees.
yeah, right. Breaking news:
No,
the Yankees just signed him to a $650 million deal.
yeah. No, but so that's just. I mean,
That's a dumb.
just
fucking
relax
reason to
about
get
this
upset.
shit. He's not going anywhere. Of all
Yeah.
people in the fucking world, or of all people on this team, Kemba Walker's probably the most safe at this point because A, nobody needs a point guard
Or-
like him that can afford him, and B, he's
Right.
just a great dude. Like everyone loves Kemba
Right.
Walker. Like
And people were pissed at Tatum too in 2019 when he was rooting for the Blues
Yeah.
against the Bruins, and it's like, dude, he's from St. Louis.
yeah, it was funny too because
He plays for Boston. He does not. He's not from Boston.
Yeah.
Like
and the NBA tweeted like what it wasn't the NBA, it was just an NBA account whatever, and they were like where should the next team be, like where should the NBA add a team, and he quote tweeted and said St. Louis and deleted it like 2 minutes later because he just realized like I probably shouldn't say that shit.
right.
It's funny, so but
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that tweet, honestly.
nah, I don't either, but I think you get fined from the league or something probably. Actually no, you probably would.
Really? I don't know if you. I don't think
Maybe
so.
not. I don't
'cause
know.
That's not. I mean, what do you like?
He probably just didn't
What's the word? Fucking
tampering.
tampering with a team that doesn't exist. Like
Nah, I don't know.
tampering with the league.
He probably just did it just so he didn't fucking the headlines didn't go crazy.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I don't know. I think that's stupid. But
yeah, more about the Celtics though. Tristan Thompson, he looks a little bit out of shape
Mhm.
here. What I wrote down, but
okay.
he's been a pretty good. He's a hard screen setter, so like he sets good screens
Yeah.
and he rolls pretty well, and
Yep.
he's a good rebounder, especially. I mean, he's better than Tice, I would say.
Yeah.
So I
okay.
think he was a great addition. Surprisingly, well, for most people, surprisingly, I wasn't really surprised because I do
Yep.
this shit, but no, but
Because I had
no,
boy.
because I mean, nobody watches the Cavs, but if you know about like what he does, he's doing it well. Like if you
Who?
Tristan Thompson, oh the Cavs, nobody watches the Cavs anymore.
I remember, when we got Tristan Thompson, I was like, oh, he still plays? And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, he just played in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even
Yeah,
know
he's-
that. Like, I thought he was just out of the
No,
league.
he's just been in Cleveland doing nothing. But he's playing to his
Shout
skills.
out
He's
to,
playing what we like when we signed him. This is what I thought he would do, and he's doing it. So
Shout out Kevin Love.
yeah, shout out to
Rest
Kevin
in
Love.
peace.
I mean, he's not dead. But
Fucking withering
shout out
away
to
in
Kevin Love.
Cleveland.
He actually they just announced that he was injured today for like 6 weeks or
I'm not
something. But
surprised.
it could be fake because I wouldn't want to play for that team either. Anyways,
Right. He's like, yeah, my eyes hurt.
dead ass. He's like, I stubbed my toe.
I'm gonna need some weeks off. Like,
Nah, but Jeff Teague was playing really well a couple of nights ago. Just hitting.
Yeah, that was I
knocking
watched
down
that Pacers
threes
game.
like crazy.
that was a
Yeah,
decent.
Pacers
That was a
game.
pretty crazy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were mad about the
Wait,
shot
did you watch? Okay, so
selection, but
did you watch the Pace? Did you watch the Pacers
I
game?
didn't watch most of it. Nah, I just wasn't.
Okay, so the end of it, right? So the end of it, it was actually almost not identical. I shouldn't say identical. It was super similar to the game,
The Bucks game?
against the Pacers. I think it was
Oh.
last year
Okay.
was it last year or maybe 2 years ago when Terry Rozier stole the inbound on like one of the last plays and like laid it in to
I don't
win it
remember
basically.
What year that was, but I know what you're talking
I
about.
think it was like 2 years ago, and it was against the Pacers. That's the reason I remembered it.
Yeah.
But they it was like the end of the game. They inbound the ball. They trap a guy in the corner of the half court line
Yeah.
and like the out of bounds line right there. They turn it over, and then Marcus Smart. I don't know who watched it, but he went for the oddest, weirdest layup. Like I don't know why he did it. He had it was 3-on-0. It was Thompson.
Smart.
I think it was Thompson, Smart, and Jaylen Brown maybe trapping them. Marcus Smart comes away with the ball, and he's running down, and he like looks like his head like glitched, and he took like a step, like he was gonna Euro step, but there was no one there. And then his second step, I think he like overstepped, and he like had to do this weird reverse layup. Like I don't even know how to explain it. He like did
Yeah.
like it looked like you would have thought someone was it looked like he did like a pump fake on one side of the rim and then reversed it up to the other side of the rim and laid it
Yeah.
in. But there was no one there. Like, and I was just like it looked like he went for a reverse dunk and didn't get high enough and then like laid it in.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like,
And it
why
went in?
why
Was
this?
it?
Like, no, it did go in, but like it was just the oddest, weirdest. Like, why did you make
Yeah.
it 10 times harder than it had to be? But,
People were mad
I mean,
about
that's just Marcus.
people were mad about Tatum's what do you call it, shot selection, but what people need to realize
Yeah, I didn't love that either, but
what people need to realize is that do this now so that way when the playoffs come we know he knows what he can and can't do, because I feel this
Okay.
is a team that
Alright.
we're probably going to end up playing in the playoffs. We've played them for like
Yep.
3 years, I feel like.
yep.
So like these games don't matter, like they do, but we're going to make the playoffs regardless. Like it's They matter, but it's more like scouting wise.
Yeah, no, yes, I know
yeah.
what you're saying.
So
I know what you're saying.
I'd
You
much
want
rather
to do
him
that shit
taking
now
this.
at the beginning of
Yeah,
the
I'd
season
much rather him taking a bad shot now than doing that in the playoffs.
when it
game
air quotes
7.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
So it's like
yeah.
people need to chill out.
It is weird though because like, yeah,
You gotta remember,
I see what you're saying.
He hit a game winner the game before against the Bucks.
He did.
So
He
it's like,
absolutely did. And but that
he
shot
missed.
too was like, hey,
No, yeah.
what the fuck? Oh, that was. I actually wrote that down.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Did I
We'll
write
get to
that down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it's. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, I saw a stat. I think it was 5 of the last 6 shots Tatum's taken for the game or to win the game. It was either we were tied or down by 1,
Mm-hmm.
and 5 of the last 6 came from beyond the 3-point line. The 4 of them were step backs. 1 of them was a fadeaway, which he hit against the Bucks, and then 1 was a regular shot. I think he might have hit that one as well. So it's like, hey, he wants the ball in his hand. That's very clear, and I think we should trust him with the ball in his hand to take that shot. I'd rather live by Tatum, die by Tatum on like a game
100%.
winner. But
Especially without Kemba.
it's like, hey man, if it's not working, so I think now you got to start working on something else. Dude, try to post up. You're a tall guy. Do your best to get to the lane or something like that. I mean, he had 4.5 seconds to work with. He could have done something there besides just kind of like trying to shake the guy, because once the guy's not moving, it's like, I feel like, kind of right off that first, maybe second dribble, you're like, all right, he's not biting. I'm not going to get by him.
Yeah.
Now I got to think, what should I do? Like,
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Maybe draw a foul or something. And he also he kicked out his leg too, which I know isn't allowed. But he did do it and then didn't even sell it. So it's like...
Well, so what I wanted to bring up too is that you have to remember... People have to remember that Kemba's injured at the moment. He's not playing.
Yep.
So every single person in that stadium knows the ball's going to Tatum, because no one else is taking that game-winning shot, especially with no Hayward or anything. Like, Tatum's taking that shot. Maybe Jaylen Brown if he's hot that night, but it's probably going to be Tatum.
Every single empty seat knows where that ball's going.
Exactly. No, but so 99% of the time, that's a Tatum shot. So it's hard for a guy like him to create a shot when it's so focused on him, and they know, all right, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. So it's like, to be in a position against, first off, this Pacers team is a good team. Like, this is, people underestimate this team. This is a good team. Like, Sabonis is a great player.
Sabonis was playing super good that game. Like, he was playing really well.
They're 3-0 at this point, I think.
Missed some clutch free throws, but he was playing pretty well.
I think they're 3-0 still. They might be 4-0 at this point. Sabonis is going to be an all-star again. So it's like, people act like this team is like a bum squad. They're not a contender for the championship maybe, but they're still a really, really good team. And so people need to just remember, like, this is the 3rd game of the season. We don't need to win this game. Like, what we need to do is focus on how we're gonna defend this team and how they're gonna defend us in the playoffs. And I mean, the
Pacers are 3-0. We're 1-2.
Okay, so they're still 3-0. Okay, so so it's like I said before, you want him to take these shots now, so he knows what he can and can't do. And for a game to play a game like that close against the Pacers is a good sign, because we don't have Kemba and we were able to play close to what they were playing. Like I said, a really good team was on fire right now, 3-0. So, and this team could be better than last year. This Pacers team could definitely be better than last year, because they have a new head coach. Oladipo's got another year to rehab from his injuries. So I just don't think, I think people just blew this loss out of proportion. And I like I said, the shot selection, maybe not the greatest, but I've seen players like Kobe and LeBron miss similar shots before too. So you can't, if you don't take him, you can't win. So I'd much rather him taking them than anybody else in that team, and he'll learn, I think, with time what he can and can't do. And also regarding that Bucks shot, people were, before we get into the part where fucking Nick Wright said he missed. Regarding that shot, like, I don't know why people just pretend that the 7-foot defensive player of the year like wasn't defending that shot, like as if he just is shooting over a fucking 6'5" or 6'4" point guard. Like, this guy is 7
But can you agree though? that it really wasn't like the best shot?
No, it definitely wasn't. But like I said, he's being defended by Giannis, who is literally the reigning defensive player of the year.
It's the best shot he could have taken there, but not the best shot you like. Obviously, not
and
the
like I
shot
said, there's no Kemba Walker, so there's no decoy. Like, everyone knew it was going to Tatum, hence why Giannis was guarding Tatum. Like, they put their best defender on our best guy, and he still made the shot at the end of the day. Obviously, it wasn't how he wanted to.
It is easy to get frustrated with Tatum with these misses, but you make a good point. You do want him to see what he can do now, but it's like, hey, if it's not working clearly, if you're not hitting those shots, you want to try to work in and try something else, because how many of these game winners are you going to get? I mean, we might get blown out. We might blow teams out for 30 games in a row. Then it's like
100%.
Now your seventh attempt at a game winner might come in game 45.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Also,
So
I
it's
wanted to add that this is like super early in the season, and he definitely was playing horribly in the first couple games, like from what we're used to Tatum playing as. So I think that he'll get his feet underneath him, and he'll play
I think
a lot
everybody
better.
needs a break, though. I think every player needs to get a bit of a break here because it's not.
It's a weird
It's
off
still
season.
not.
It's like
It's because it's the weirdest off season of all time.
Yeah.
It's my point. It's so weird still. This is still such a weird year. It's still it's still it's the weirdest off season of all time. These guys are not in their grooves necessarily. Everyone's got the added stress of COVID. Everybody's got the it's all these guys are gonna be. No one's gonna be themselves, totally themselves this year. Like it's just not gonna happen. Right.
And I mean, we know there's definitely teams that are flourishing more than others, but it's like the teams that are really good, like the Brooklyn Nets, have two of the best players in the whole league on their team.
And it's game 3.
Exactly. Season literally just started like 2 weeks ago, so it's like
the Seattle Mariners started out like 11-3 2 years ago, and they ended up losing 65 games or something.
Yeah,
like
so it's like
or 100 games or something like that. Like
we just gotta be patient. That's all.
Not that the beginning of the season doesn't matter, but
for certain teams,
it's
really
like we don't really know who's super good right now. Like guys, teams can look good,
exactly.
But you gotta sustain it for a
year.
couple.
That's how it is every year.
You know,
the Kings look good every year.
Everybody just chill the fuck out, all right? Everyone just relax. Everybody take a fucking breath.
Exactly. Enough of the fucking trash talking.
You're all idiots.
Every time a guy like Tatum misses a shot, it's fucking TL's just trade him.
Right.
It's like
exactly. This whole anyone who listens to this podcast, listen, you're fucking idiots.
Exactly.
Right. Relax.
First thought, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for those who didn't know, though, I don't really want to talk about this for that long because I don't fuck with this dude at all. But
no, I know.
Yeah. So for anybody who didn't hear, I'm sure you heard the Nick Wright quote. Do you have it
pulled
up
anywhere?
anywhere?
Stroke when I saw this.
I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
I will. Yeah.
Hold up. So
yeah. So Nick Wright. Nick Wright, notable dumbass. He noted jackass. Noted. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Sorry. The president.
That's the president.
All right, I'll call him back later. Yeah, Nick Wright. He's a fucking idiot.
Quote, by the way.
Is he still on TV?
Yeah. So
what show? First Take?
I
no?
Tell you, not First Take. All right. So here's the quote, real quick. So this was after Tatum hits the game winner against the Bucks, and Giannis misses the free throw to choke the game. So this is the direct quote. It says, here's the real take. That was an egregious miss by Tatum. That was missed so badly it went in. That's the answer. And he said, so what is the bigger deal? Giannis missed a free throw barely. Tatum missed his shot by 4 feet, so badly that it banked in. Because here's what I know, he was not trying to bang this in. So
define a miss, because I'm pretty sure it went in. I if I remember correctly.
Like I understand what he's going for because he's a TV guy and they just want the ratings. I see what he's saying too. And like that's the take. Like that's
but like see, I don't get that. I that shouldn't be like allowed. You know what I'm saying?
MVP
because
of the league.
We are talking about it now. We are talking about it right now, which I guess is what they want. But it shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to just go out and just say like if you're gonna consider yourself a sports expert, you shouldn't just be a fucking idiot all the time. Like
100%.
And you can't be right. You shouldn't be able to be right 25% of the time and be on TV and be paid millions of dollars. Like it's fucking stupid. Because there's people who actually give good insight, and it's like I'd rather hear what he has to say than listen to you be like, "Well, that was a miss," when the ball went in the fucking net. Like it's. What are you talking about?
He said that was the bigger story, despite the fact that the reigning MVP of the league, 2-time MVP, literally missed the free throw that could have tied the game. So it's like how is that the bigger story when this is supposedly the best player in the league, according to like the media, according to coaches, whoever votes for the MVP, and he missed the free throw to lose the game, and it's not being talked about because of Tatum's supposed like he almost missed the shot because of the backboard. And it's like that shit is just annoying because it's like I've never been a big Giannis guy. Like I've never got the hype. Like obviously he puts up great numbers in the regular season, but I don't trust him in the playoffs because. We've seen the last 3 years in a row. Like he needs. Well, what he needs is Jrue Holiday, which is what they got. But like, he's just not that. I don't know. I just don't think he's as good as people think.
He's not a winner. He's just not a winner
as of right now.
Yeah, he might be at some point. But like, I know you're a big Harden guy, but I think Harden is the same way. He puts up crazy numbers, but he's just not a winner.
Sure,
like, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain guys. Russell Westbrook. He's not a winner. Like he's just. These are guys who go and they perform. and they might even perform to the.
Well,
They might have the best game when it matters the most, but it's like
no, I would argue, I
you
would say that
gotta
Russell Westbrook's a winner. I just don't think he has the skill set to win. Like I think that he more than
explain that. I don't know
Harden.
what you
So
mean.
I think Harden is
Elaborate.
content with going out, dropping 50 and 20, and I mean 50 and 10, and like losing the game. I think
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook would rather drop 10, 10, and 10 and win the game. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
So I think
okay, yes,
he has
I
a
see what you're
winner's
saying.
mentality. Like every night, I think Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. Okay.
in an
okay.
ideal
Yep.
world, Russell Westbrook would try to go 72 and 0, but I just don't think he has the skill to do it.
Right.
But I know what you're saying though. I don't see that. I see that mentality in Giannis, but I don't think he has the skill set to do it. Because
Mhm.
like we saw with Miami, we've seen it with Miami for the past 3 seasons. Miami just builds a wall. They just put Bam Adebayo in the back of the wall, and then he literally can't score because he can't shoot jump shots.
Yeah.
And he tries to shoot threes, and he hits them a little bit. He's like a 30% shooter, which is
Okay.
decent,
So
but it's like
answer this then. Do you think it's something to do with the team building around a big man that's not going to be able to get it done? Not in the sense of the guy can't get it done, but is it something about building around a big man?
it's more about building around.
keeps you from getting it
It's
done.
more about building around somebody who can't shoot. That's
Right.
that's always been my main thing. If you
Okay,
can't shoot,
okay.
you don't deserve a max contract, in my opinion. Giannis is special because he averages 30 without being able to shoot. But we saw I think this was literally like at this point like 4 years ago. But Clint Capella got a ton of money, and he couldn't shoot. And I remember talking to my friends about it and being like, I just don't. I mean, you're just deadlocking your team like cap wise because you're paying this much money
Yep.
for a center who can't shoot the ball. And it's like
Right.
we actually perfect example. We just saw with Rudy Gobert. He just got a supermax contract, over $200 million
Yeah, he did.
for a guy
Yep.
who literally can't
Yep.
shoot. And
Right.
we saw. I think it was maybe it was two seasons ago. They played against, maybe it was three honestly, but they played against the Rockets in the playoffs. And Rudy Gobert wasn't
Yep.
even in the game at the end of the games because Harden was just destroying him in the pick and roll because he's just too slow. So you're
Right.
paying this guy over $200 million to be the best.
Yeah, a guy who
be
can't
allegedly
do
the
it
best
all
defense.
should not be getting.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be getting it
Exactly.
all. You know.
Not even
Okay.
doing it all. If you're Klay Thompson, if you gave Klay Thompson supermax, I'd be content with it because of how good he is at
Right,
shooting
right,
and how
'cause-
good he is at defending.
Okay. Yep.
But a guy like Giannis, I mean, I understand why they
His shooting
did
and
it.
defending makes up for the fact that he maybe can't be rebound better. Than
Yeah, and he
everybody.
can't pass as well. He's not a great passer or something.
Okay.
But it's like
Okay.
a guy like Giannis, like I said, I understand it because it's a small market team. No one's going there anyways. You might as well spend your money. But it's like I don't know, man. I mean, maybe this team with Drew Holiday, bringing in Drew Holiday can make a difference. But as of right now, I've never been. I mean, I haven't ever been sold on this Bucks team, especially with their coach. I just don't think. I think that everybody knows you just build a wall and you can block Giannis that way. And people were like, "Well,
Yeah.
you need the personnel to do that." Well, Miami has the personnel, and all you have to do is beat
Well-
Miami, or all you have to do is lose. To
Okay,
Miami.
so it's like the argument you see with with any like good rookie like Mahomes. Maybe not so Mahomes because like he's a generational talent as well. He might very well could be the best player of all time
Yeah.
when he's said and
Sure.
done. But it's like these exceptional rookies. Christian McCaffrey. Oh, I guess he's hurt too. So that's two bad examples. But guys like fuck, I can't. Any rookie who comes out and excels and he's really good,
Yeah,
and then the next year he's not as good because it's like guys got tape on him. So now you know what works with them.
exactly.
You know what doesn't work with them. Like you know what I'm saying. So it's like
And
you
that's the
need a
same
guy, an
thing you could say about
exceptional and elite
Giannis.
talent are the guys who you get the tape on them and they just adapt and they figure out a different way. They grow a different part of their game.
Exactly.
Like and they figure out a way to get around the stuff that either get better at what they're not good
Mhm.
at, or maybe if they can't, like Giannis, he's probably never going to be a shooter, right?
Doubtful.
Like it's
Doubtful.
you have these Porzingis and shit who can shoot as big men.
There's no excuse to
like-
not be a shooter in 2020, but yes, but he probably will
Right.
never be a shooter.
But if you're not built for it, like it's tough because Porzingis and like these are exceptional talents. So it's like it doesn't
Well, yeah,
make
yeah,
sense
100%.
that they can shoot as well as they can shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's same thing with Jokic. I think
Yeah,
he can
Jokic
shoot
is a great
fairly
shooter.
well, right? Yeah. So these guys are exceptional.
No,
They're
yeah,
freaks.
100%.
You know?
I know. I agree.
So I can't bash him for that in the sense of like he's not built for it. But if you can't shoot, you have to improve whatever other part. Like you have to be perfect with everything
For
else.
him, he has to learn how to at least shoot mid-range jumpers because of where he
Yeah.
plays and the situation that he finds himself in every year in the playoffs, which is
Yeah.
he's playing against a team that has the personnel to build a wall and block him from the rim. However, the other alternative is what they've done this season is when they brought in a guy like Drew Holiday who can create his own shot and defend well, and that's a guy that you can I mean, he's not a closer. I wouldn't call him a guy that can close games. Like, I wouldn't call him a closer. But for that team, he can be a closer because he's good enough. So what I think is, if you're banking on Giannis, clearly they're banking on Giannis never being a jump shooter, which is fine if they put the right personnel around him, which is guys like Chris Middleton, guys like Brook Lopez, guys like Drew Holiday. So that's why I'm just like, this year I'm curious to see how it works, but what do you call it? I'm curious to see how it works. However, if they run into Miami again, I don't see them beating Miami in a 7-game series.
Right.
Because Miami knows the blueprint and they haven't lost to them in 30 years, I feel like. So, like, it's just, What, I don't even remember how we got on this topic. What was it? What were we talking about? Oh,
it's fucking whatever.
The Nick Wright thing. Yeah, so anyways, I mean.
We're talking about,
Yeah, he gets the MVP because of how good he is at everything else, but whatever. We can just move on because this is he
is dominant.
No, he is. He is 100%. He is.
Right.
He's definitely one of the.
I think he's deserving of MVP.
Yeah.
It's just.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna hold him to that honor,
get it done.
You can't.
Right.
Just blow off a missed free throw as if he didn't blow the game. That was him. He blew the game. He couldn't defend. He didn't defend the game winner. I mean, he played pretty well defense, but it still went in. And then he missed the free throw that could have saved them. So it's like, you got to talk about that. Because if you think about it, if that's LeBron.
Yeah, because you know what? You're right. Because
if that's LeBron.
Because if you want to go back to.
I mean,
he's burying
exactly. So it's like. But if he doesn't, he's getting just berated for the next week.
Chastised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. Because you know what? I don't hold him to that shot. I think that shot was. I don't want to call it a fluke, but that was,
it was a crazy shot.
It was a good shot.
It was well defended.
It was calculated to a degree. It was well defended as well. But you're right. When it comes down, you know what? That shot went in. Fuck. What do we do? Like, that's crazy that shot just went in. But now you're presented with an opportunity
that you shouldn't have had in the first place.
Right now.
He shouldn't have had that because
you shouldn't have had exactly.
The offensive foul was given back at the end of the game. Like, the end of the game, they do this thing called the 2-minute report, where they the last 2 minutes of the game they review all the fouls and non-calls.
Oh yes, and they said
it wasn't. It shouldn't have been a call. Exactly. So he shouldn't even have had this opportunity, but he was given the opportunity and he blew it. So that's why that was more my thing about it. Like you should be, if you're gonna hold this guy up to this standard and call him the MVP of the league, you gotta at least acknowledge the fact that he blew that game, because he did at the end of the day. I mean, they could have played better, I guess, and they could have. Normally they win games by 20 points, but when you're in that situation, if that's your guy and you want to trust that guy, then he's got to be able to knock down free throws. That's my. I hate when players can't knock down free throws, and I mean, I understand why, because I'm obviously, when I play basketball, I'm not hitting every free throw I shoot anyways. But still, at the end of the day, like, if you're gonna be your guy for your team, you got to be able to knock down free throws. I mean, especially knowing that this is an issue. I mean, this has been an issue for more than one season, that he's been a below average free throw shooter. So it's like, you gotta you gotta iron that out, But anyways, we can move on to some of the rest of the NBA. The Clippers. I wrote down the Clippers look much better prior to them losing by 50.
Dude, I thought I was having a fever dream when I saw that. I had no idea. Someone sent it in our GM, and I was just like, "Is that?" Like, I was doing math in my head, and I was like, I tend to do this where I'm like, "Is that 45?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's 35 or whatever," which is still a lot. But I was like, "Is that 50 points?" Like, is that? And I was doing it, and I was like, "That is 50. Like, they're down 50 points right now." Like,
so
did a bomb go off or something? Like, why is it 50?
First off, which is, I mean, there's still no excuse. You should never lose by 50.
I don't think there's any way to excuse a 50-point loss.
No matter what team you are, you should never lose by 50. But I mean, they just played like shit. But I don't want to overreact to it, because I don't think, like, people are just bricking open shots.
50-point loss is a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, people were bricking shots that were wide open. Like, they were getting good opportunities and just missing. So I don't want.
That's a perfect storm. Like, everything.
Exactly. And I mean, you're playing against
anything
Luka.
Like,
Luka's just the guy that can give you 50 if you're not careful. So hold on, I gotta take out my sweatshirt real quick. Hold on. I'll just cut this part out. Alright, I'm back. So anyways, I don't want to blow it out of proportion. It was just one game this season. It'll never happen again. But I mean, damn, that was crazy. But prior to that,
you gotta comment on it though.
Yeah, prior to that, the Clippers were looking really good. Ibaka was just so much. I've always been a decent, not like a fan of Ibaka, but I've always been like, this is the model that you should follow if you're a guy who's like in that type of mold. Because when he got to OKC, when he first started playing, he wasn't a guy that was a great shooter. But then he realized like, all right, well, to make it in this league, I gotta get a jump shot, and he does. And he's a great jump shooter now.
Okay.
So I think he's the perfect mold of a guy that's like, he didn't have something, and he was like, you know what, I don't want to phase out of the league, so let me just add this to my game. And
Right.
he's great. And he was
How tall is Ibaka? Is he 7 foot?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly his height, but yeah, he's like a power forward center type. He's like a small ball center type guy, but he's like a.
I was trying to compare him. I'm thinking to like Roy Hibbert or something, because remember what happened to Roy Hibbert? How he just out of nowhere, like a switch flip, and he was terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that was a somewhat like that.
No,
that again separates the great players from the okay or like the good players.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, no. So he evolved his game. He could shoot now. I mean, he was always a decent shooter. It's not like he was just like a bum, but he was never like a. Like now he's like a knockdown shooter. Like you can trust him to shoot like threes. So
okay,
it was a great signing for them. I'm surprised they got him, but at the same time, not surprised.
Where's he playing now?
He's on the Clippers now.
Oh, on the Clippers.
Yeah.
On the Clippers, yeah.
They have Kawhi, and he definitely recruited Ibaka just because they had the Toronto connection last year.
Yeah. Yep,
But yeah, so it was a great signing. Next on my notes here, I'm gonna skip down to the Nuggets one for now.
Sure.
So Jeremy Grant was on the Nuggets last year. I think he's in Detroit now. He wanted a bigger role, so he went to Detroit.
Rest in peace.
And they've looked a little shaky without him, but they haven't been terrible though. Jokic is averaging like a triple-double at this point, basically. Not exactly, but pretty much. And I'm waiting for Jamal Murray to kind of pick it up, because I don't know how much of the playoffs you watched last year, but I mean, he was averaging like 40 points in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, actually, no, I watched quite a bit of the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
He was.
And
I actually remember him
last year.
specifically, like going crazy.
And he's a young guy,
basically winning that series for against the Clippers, right?
Yeah,
for them.
And he's a young guy, so it's not like he's boom or bust this season.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's wicked fun to watch, but
he's really fun.
He's a guy that they need now, because the way that I think that this went down is so the Nuggets have always been like the teetering edge of the playoffs, and then Jokic came around, and now they're in the playoffs almost every year.
Yep.
And
did they go Western Conference Finals last year?
Yeah, against the Lakers, and they lost.
Did they take them to 7?
No,
no, they didn't. So. Right?
I think they went to like 5 or something, but either way.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh, so
they were down 3-1, right, against the Clippers.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so they what was I saying? Jamal Murray is a young guy who's fun to watch. He is a guy that I think people want to see prove. So, okay, I remember where I was. So the Nuggets have been on this weird spot where they've had a lot of young, talented guys that they could have moved for a guy like Bradley Beal, or a guy like I don't know, just someone they could bring in that can really elevate their team.
Someone to get them over the edge.
Exactly. And they didn't do that, and I think what they were doing instead was betting on Jamal Murray being as good as he was last year, which is like which I agree with. I think is that's what they should do, because you trade for a guy like Bradley Beal, who at this point I don't even know if he's available, but you trade for a guy like Bradley Beal, sure, it puts you over the edge, but you lose a lot of depth. So I think they're in a great position that if Jamal Murray picks it back up to where he was last year, they're a team that's with a great 1 and a great 5, being Jamal and Jokic, and they have great depth off their bench. I mean, they have just plenty of guys off their bench that can just get it done for them. So to bank on Jamal Murray is also saving you in the depth category instead of trading for Bradley Beal and losing your depth. You know what I mean? So I think I would I think I like the way that they're going. I just need Jamal Murray to pick it back up from where he was last year. I don't think he'll be like a 30-point scorer like he was in the playoffs, but I still think that he's much better than he's playing now if he just puts it together. But I mean, it was a weird offseason. He's a young guy. Once he gets his legs together, he'll be fine again, I think.
I mean, he also, that was an exceptional run that he had in the playoffs,
I mean,
too. That's not even like I'm not even sure if I would expect that
like
level of sustainability.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
you know what I'm saying?
No one's doing that besides like James Harden, but
right.
Well,
I don't think you want to hold him to. Like I'm saying, you wouldn't hold him to that though. I don't think at least. Like you're not going to be like, well, why can't you score 50 again?
Exactly.
Like, it's like, well, I mean, he just locked in. He went on a crazy run. Like,
I mean, and the competition was perfect for him too, because the Jazz team that he played before he played the Clippers team, the Jazz team that he played was heavily Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and Rudy Gobert doesn't match up well against Jokic because of Jokic's ability to shoot. So it's just kind of like a perfect storm where it was just Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell, and it was just kind of like a shooting match. So it was just a great, like a good recipe for him to play really well. And so I don't think people should expect that again. At least now, maybe in the future when if he gets better. But as of right now, I don't expect that out of him. I expect him to be like a 20-ish around 20-ish points per game, but
Okay.
I think that's reasonable. I think he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Clippers series was just terrible because the Clippers were trash that year. But anyways, we can move on to the Lakers. The Lakers are still the favorites. Anthony Davis is just fucking insane. I mean, the fact that him and
It's
LeBron
crazy
on the
that
same
he
team are just insanity. But
yeah, but it's also yet again it speaks to how the great players are separated from the good ones, because he's been in the league 8 years now, 7 years,
something like that, yeah.
maybe longer even, and it's like he was always good on the Pelicans, but he was never playing this good, and it's like
Yeah, no,
to go to a team with the expectations, and granted you should be getting better with time to a certain degree before you start, you should peak before you dip, you know, but to go to a team like this with such high expectations of the overall team for the season,
not even just being the Lakers, just being on a team with LeBron in general.
Being on a team with LeBron, being the Lakers, like you said, not even just being the Lakers, but being the Lakers, being on a team with LeBron. The Lakers fucking sucked for so long.
Yeah, I mean they missed
Kobe
the playoffs.
passes away, like it's all this crazy shit that and COVID, everything like that. To perform as well as you do and dedicate yourself as much as you can, and then come back the next season and seem to be picking up right where you left off. You know, it's like it just speaks to his talent as well. Another one of those freaks that it's like, and it just shows how hard it is to play in the modern NBA.
Yeah, and
because it's like you have to be that guy. You have to, if you're gonna be a big guy like that, you have to be what these Anthony Davises, what these Porzingis, what these Jokic, like you have to be what these guys are.
Yeah,
like,
and
you know, like
people used to have debates about who's better between Anthony Davis and Giannis, and I've never like hopped in that debate like seriously. Like sometimes I'll just troll and be like Giannis or Anthony Davis just to piss off certain people.
Right, I was gonna say, I don't think knowing that debate, I don't think I'd ever waver from Anthony Davis.
And it's like it's not even close anymore, in my opinion. I mean, Giannis is the MVP because most valuable player isn't the best player in the league ever. Because if it was, LeBron would win it every year. But I mean, Anthony Davis is just such a talented, like just such a skilled guy that I mean he can do everything. Like talk about a guy who can do everything on the court. He can legitimately do everything on the court. Besides, he can shoot. He's not the best shooter, but he can he's hitting off the dribble threes this year and like sidestep threes and shit. So it's like having a guy like that on your team with LeBron. It's like there's no, if you don't pick them for the championship, you're just a delusional fan of another team that's close to winning. I mean they
definitely
if they don't go to the finals, like that's like this should be a finals or bust team. Is what I'm getting at here. Especially with the addition of Montrezl Harrell, who was like the sixth man last year. Like, I mean, and Dennis Schroeder, who was the other sixth man last year. It's like those two additions, like to a team that literally already won a championship. It's like they should be the favorites, and if they're not, like I said, you're just a delusional fan of another team.
Yeah.
So I wrote here that the East is wide open, and then the Nets played. And so I changed that to the Nets are favorite out of the East.
To the East is no longer wide open.
Yeah. The Nets have just. I mean, we talk about them every week. I feel like, but they're just so they're. I mean, they're
clicking.
Yeah, they're just. This is a team that I thought would be like a 4 or 5 seed because of the chemistry, but I mean, they're just not. Like Steve Nash just has those dudes just playing perfectly, and they're just playing super well. Kyrie is in check. KD is in just being KD. Borderline second, if not one of the best. Like he's top 3 best players in the league, in my opinion. And it's like, he's just. I mean, top like 2. I said, he hasn't lost a step, so it's like, I mean, they look just insane. I mean, especially with their pieces too, with Karis LeVert. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie just got injured. He's gonna be out for.
And Steve Nash coaching too. I mean,
yes, I was surprised to see him do as well as he did in his first, or as well as he has already done in his first.
As he's been doing, yeah.
But at the same time, like. It could have went either way for me. Like I'm not surprised that he's. I'm slightly surprised about how good he is. Yeah, I'm more surprised about how good he is. Not surprised that he is good. If that makes sense. Like.
Yes. Because he's obviously a very good basketball mind, and like he's gonna get it done wherever he's going.
And he already had the connections with the guys. Like he's been not an assistant, like a trainer for KD in the past. He's trained Kyrie in the past, so it's like. He already knows the guys.
He played for the Suns. Okay.
Yeah, and he knows the guys. So it's like I'm not that surprised.
Right, but it still speaks to how good he has been thus far with all this talent and balancing it well and having it all click together and play all together. You know, exactly. Yeah, controlling all the egos and having everybody work as well as they have as a team. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
shout out to that guy.
It's cool to have him back in the league.
Yeah, this dude. So you probably don't even know who Emmanuel Quickly or Obi Toppin is, but they're two dudes.
I know the second one sounds more familiar, but
Yeah, they're both in the Knicks. I don't know. I just like watching them. So if anybody needs if anybody's wondering why they should watch a Knicks game, I mean you shouldn't. But if you find yourself watching a Knicks game, Emmanuel Quickly and Obi.
If you're tied to a chair
yeah.
and someone's forcing you to watch a Knicks game,
those two guys are just
you
fun
can
to
at least
watch.
enjoy.
They're both young and they're both good. So
is Knox still on that team? Is that
Yeah.
no?
yeah,
Is it Knox?
Kevin Knox.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of trash, but he's still on the team technically.
And who else? Who's the kid from play with Zion? God damn it.
RJ Barrett.
RJ
He's been
Barrett.
okay this season. I don't know. I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of his game, but he's not
Okay.
bad though. He's been decent. But let's just get into the NFL
That's all I
stuff
never could think of.
because
Okay,
it's probably
yeah.
what people want to hear about more.
It's heating up. It's heating up for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. So you want
Cam sucks.
You want to read off? Yeah. We want to talk about the Patriots. We can talk about the Patriots.
No,
but-
yeah, we can go in order.
No, let's just start with the Patriots real quick because they're trash and we don't need to talk about them for very long. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Pats
suck.
are trash, and
Cam's not the
we didn't have
answer.
to talk about them that long. Cam's not the answer, and then we're moving on.
And so let's get into the AFC playoffs here. All right, so let me pull up this thing. If you want to just read who's locked in and stuff, and I'll look at the standings real quick about who can get in.
Yeah, so we get this pulled up right here. So we've got
These are the division leaders. All these on the list are division leaders.
the AFC. I think the NFC East is still technically open.
Yeah.
It's a dog shit fucking.
For literally,
is there anybody even?
For all four
I don't think
teams,
anybody's 500.
All four teams can still make the playoffs. in
I
the
don't
NFC
think
East.
anybody's 500. If I
And
just going off memory.
yeah, no,
So the
no,
NFC
they're not because
East,
Washington's the leader.
Terrible.
Right
Yeah,
now.
Washington's the leader.
7
Yep.
and 9 or something, 6 and 10. I forget.
Yeah.
Either way, go ahead. Sorry.
AFC East, Buffalo took it.
No surprise.
NFC West, Seattle has clinched the wild card. AFC West, Kansas City clinched the division. NFC North, the Packers clinched the division. AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers clinched the wild card. NFC South, New Orleans has clinched the division, and then the AFC South is still open. Tennessee is in the lead right now.
So the AFC
And I
South only
believe-
has
I
Indianapolis.
don't
and
believe they
Tennessee.
control their own destiny. Tennessee, I don't think. I think
Okay,
they
so
need to win,
let's-
and someone needs to give them some
Yeah,
help.
let's
I
get
think.
into
if I
this real
remember.
quick. I can read some off here.
Yeah.
So Tennessee can clinch the division with a win or an Indianapolis loss. So if they win, they do
Okay.
clinch. So they do control
Yep.
their destiny there. I don't know why I'm so interested in this Indianapolis getting into the playoffs, but I'm just kind of curious to see how they do. So that's why I kind of have been looking a lot of their direction. But so if they win and Tennessee loses, then they clinch the division. But they can also just clinch the playoffs if they win and either Baltimore, Cleveland, or Miami loses. Which is,
Yep. Okay.
definitely possible at this point.
Yeah, the AFC North too. That was. It's gonna be an exciting final game of the season there for the Browns. The Browns win, they're in. They had a chance to clinch this game and they lost to the fucking Jets. So now they just. With the Colts loss, they can still control their own destiny. They can still win. But Jesus, man, that's
a brutal loss.
that's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a good game. Mason Rudolph is playing for Pittsburgh.
Makes sense.
Big Ben is out. He's taking the time off, so it gives them a much better shot. But
and like we were saying before,
Man,
this
man.
team is shaky. This Pittsburgh team is still. They won last week, but I still don't trust
they're
this
still
team at all.
shaky because they had to have a comeback against the Colts, and it's I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good game. That should be a good game with the Browns and the Steelers. But
Yeah.
if you're not rooting for the Browns, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know if you mentioned, but the Buccaneers also clinched a wild card.
I did not.
Yeah. So Buccaneers also
did
clinched
not.
a wild card.
Okay.
Yeah. So a couple other teams that were notable that I kind of wanted to just highlight a little bit. Arizona can still get in, which I feel like would be fun to watch. Washington
Yep.
leads their division right now, but they just quit. They just cut Haskins yesterday or something. So I don't want.
Yeah,
them
they
to
released
win.
him. Yep. He didn't get claimed, so
I hope they
he's
lose.
on the market.
Because just fuck that team. So yeah, Dallas. I'm hoping.
How sick would Alex Smith in the playoffs be, though? I think that would be so sick. I don't know if he's coming back. I know he's hurt, but
I don't think he'll be back.
that'd
But
be awesome.
I want either Dallas or Philly to win. Probably Philly at this point, just because Jalen Hurts is fun to watch. But
Yeah, fuck the Cowboys.
yeah, more just because I'm just curious to see if Actually, nah, yeah, fuck the Cowboys. I was gonna say something if like Elliott picks something up, but he's washed. So
No, fuck the
yeah,
Cowboys.
so I'm hoping for Philly to get in there. It's probably not gonna happen, but you never know at this point with how bad that division is. So
Mm.
um, yeah, like I said, Indy or Tennessee can get in or can win their conference still. Honestly,
Yep.
I don't care which team wins it. I feel like Indy would be fun to like watch, but
Yep.
it honestly doesn't matter. I couldn't care less. And yeah, like you said, Cleveland, Baltimore could still get in. Miami could still get in. Miami's been
Yep.
been playing
Yep.
really well recently.
That'd be cool.
So yeah,
It's gonna be a fun playoffs
yeah,
this
it
year
definitely
without the
will
Patriots in it.
because
Honestly,
there's no the Chiefs are obviously
you have the
the
Chiefs,
are the
but
obvious
like,
favorite, but like in general, every other game, I mean Green Bay maybe, but I don't even think
yeah,
they're that good. Like
the Packers are looking pretty. They look pretty good.
no, they definitely do, but like I wouldn't say like they're like unbeatable. Like they're not like a god squad.
No. I don't think there's really anybody out there right now that's unbeatable.
Yeah.
Like,
Because even Kansas City
the Chiefs are definitely the favorites, but yeah, they have some weak spots for sure. So it's
Mahomes hasn't played that great the last couple weeks, so yeah. So I'm not.
I really, man. I mean, the Bills and the
Bills are-
Chiefs and the fucking
Yeah,
AFC Championship, dude.
That'd be nice.
That would be. I mean, the Bills have been fucking incredible.
It's funny
Like,
because
that game against, granted, the Patriots are terrible, but like Stephon Diggs and
Diggs
Allen
is
are
a
just
problem,
clicking.
man. And it's funny because he already has like so many records for the Bills already, even though he's only been there for a fucking season.
I know.
It's just so funny. Like just they were putting a bunch of graphics on the screen about like catches in a season and shit. Like just funny how many records he has just off of one season because of how fucking bad the team's been.
They're gonna be excited to watch.
Yeah,
in the playoffs,
they're
That's
definitely
gonna
gonna be, especially like seeing. I mean, I'm not like a fan of Josh Allen, but seeing where he started and where he is now is pretty cool. Just to see like a guy who's just.
It's
really
like that
just
he's panning out.
Yeah, like he's
panning out how you're supposed to.
And it's weird. It shouldn't be weird to see, but it is weird to see in the NFL like a team trust a quarterback for 3 years straight, especially how he like the last 2 years he hasn't been playing good. Really, like I saw a stat earlier that he was the last in the league in starting quarterbacks and like completion percentage for the last 2 years, and then this year he's like much better, obviously. And I don't know. It just to me, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it seems like if you're bad in your first season, like you get shipped out. So it's cool to see,
especially in today's NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
They seem like it's pretty easy for guys to get like moved on from.
So that's why I'm like,
shit. So yeah,
it's cool to see a guy
right.
a team trust a guy that long to see him actually stay now they're where they are now. And that's another. It just shows like what a good wide receiver can do for a quarterback, like to have an actual weapon on a team like Stephon Diggs. Not to say that the rest of their receiving core shit, but obviously Stephon.
No, yeah, I mean he's definitely the best one, but Cole Beasley's been playing pretty well too. Yeah. So he's been holding his own at least.
That just goes into what we were saying before about the Patriots. Like, do you draft a quarterback or bring in good wide receivers and fucking offensive players? It's like, I mean, we just saw with the Bills.
I think you got to draft a QB.
Yeah, probably, but it's like you see that if you don't have receivers, like you can't fucking or no. Once you get receivers, I should say, you're like.
You can get it.
Yeah, like he's been shit the last 2 years, and now he has good receivers. And what do you know?
A lot of people have been dogging on this Patriots team too, and it's like this team was not supposed to be good this year. Even like
it really just relied on Cam's like if he was going to be an MVP or not, which was 99% chance he wasn't going to be. So it was like, people are just optimistic about this team when they probably shouldn't be. But whatever. Yeah. So I wrote down here Chiefs probably going to repeat in my opinion. I think they're the favorites, but.
Yeah, I honestly, I think they are the favorite, and they're probably my favorite too. But I mean, man, the Bills are playing so well. Like there's a small chance that they could make the Super Bowl and win it. I think.
What do you think about the Bucks?
I mean,
playoff Brady.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how Brady. He's been coming into form for sure at the end of the year.
They're just such a weird team to judge. Like they should be good. They should be good all season, but they
should be better.
Been. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They should be better than they are.
Like should on paper they should have been one of the better teams in the league, and they weren't. So it's
it's hard to bet against playoff Brady.
Exactly.
And
Antonio Brown is actually playing for once. For the first time in like 30 years, it feels like. Like he'll actually be in the game. So. That's why it's like
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, it's all around. It's just gonna be an exciting year
Yeah.
in the playoffs for like the whole NFL.
really will
Like it's
be.
gonna be see what guys can get done that haven't been there before. It really does feel wide open. Besides the Chiefs being the favorite, but like I said, there's weak spots in the Kansas City too. So it's like,
Which is funny because there just shouldn't be, but for some reason there is. Like that team is stacked.
yeah,
But for some reason they just, I don't know, they just don't really.
it only takes one game. That's the
Yeah,
thing about
that's- yeah,
football.
I mean-
It takes one game. So
We just saw.
I mean, if the Chiefs do get eliminated, like by some miracle in the first game they play, then it's wide open. Like
Yeah.
it's anybody's.
Yeah. What
So-
do you think of Seattle? I think they've been solid all year. But I don't know if they're poised.
Yeah, they've been solid all year, and it's Russell Westbrook in the playoffs. It's the same thing as
Russell
Brady.
Wilson.
It's like he just seems to show up no matter what.
Yeah.
Down 4 touchdowns with 3 minutes left, and he somehow pulls it out. Like it's just like a story we've seen time and time again. So I mean, he's always exciting to watch in the playoffs, and again, another guy hard to bet against. So
Exactly. That's why it's that's what makes it even harder. It's like you got the NFC. You got a guy like Russell Wilson, and you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Like you can't bet against either of them, but one of them has to lose.
right.
So it's like,
One of
and
them
then you
has
have
to
Tom
lose.
Brady in the wild card. So it's like, that's tough, man. And then, like you said, the Bills have been firing on all cylinders. I mean, I don't trust Pittsburgh at all. But like Mahomes,
I don't know.
Mahomes is he's been on a little
I
slump.
can see Pittsburgh
but-
getting bounced.
Yeah, I can
like
see. I
first.
can see them getting bounced 100% too. But yeah, no, Mahomes has been in a little bit of a slump. But at the end of the day, it's still Pat Mahomes. So it's like, you don't
Right,
want to bet
right,
against
right.
him.
Another guy who just seems to get it done no matter what.
Yeah.
Like
And it's like, yeah,
it's like leaving a minute and 3 seconds is too much time on the clock.
100%.
If you're only up 4 or something like that.
He's just
Like
such
you
a he's
can't
such a
give
good
Mahomes the
he's
ball
such a good
unless
playmaker.
it's
you
under
know?
a minute.
Like he can just
Yeah.
he can make something out
Him
of
and
nothing.
Tyreek Hill and Kelsey just get it done.
Yeah.
Like they just get it done.
Yeah. I think I want to say Tyreek Hill is like leading the league in receptions or something. I could be wrong. Maybe he's receiving
be.
yards. Maybe him and Kelsey are like top 2 in like, or no, they're like they're both like the top 5 I think in receiving yards and receptions this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, and not to mention their running backs that they got down there too. So yeah, so let's just give one final prediction for the thing. Who do you have? Who do you have in the game, and who do you have winning?
Chiefs, and then fuck, man, I don't know. The NFC, I really don't know. Like it's
Yeah, I mean that's why it's
the NFC is so much better. That's what it is. Like it's
it's
so much more competitive,
team-wise,
you know what I'm saying?
100%. Because you look at
but I think
go ahead, sorry.
Green Bay.
I was gonna say I think
I
this might be a year where we can see Aaron Rodgers really get in there, because I think he's a guy that's been so close like the last couple of years that it's like I feel like he's just ready to. He has a team now that can also help him out. I think he's just ready to.
Devontae Adams is probably the best receiver in the league right now. So
Yeah, exactly. And they, what's the dude?
if
Jones?
he,
Their running back.
yeah,
That guy's nasty
yep.
too.
If Devontae Adams plays as good as he can as with Aaron Rodgers, then yeah, I think they're my favorite out of the NFC. So I think Chiefs, Packers, Super Bowl, and I think the Chiefs probably repeat.
I'm gonna just go just so we don't copy. Just so I don't copy you. I'm gonna just go. I'll go Buffalo Buccaneers, and I'll say Buffalo's probably
In the
gonna
Super
win.
Bowl?
Yeah,
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I think Buffalo probably wins it.
No, they can't play the
Buffalo and the
they can't play
Buccaneers.
the Buccaneers.
What do you mean?
No, they're in the AFC.
Oh, okay. My bad. I have them.
You mean okay? So let's go AFC Championship then.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to say AFC
Okay, so we'll
Championship,
say
that
Buffalo.
works.
Buffalo and the Bucks AFC. Buffalo wins.
Okay.
Then we'll say. Cause I was gonna say Kansas City and Green Bay too, but I don't wanna. We'll just make it interesting. I'll say
Seattle. That's my second one. So
Buffalo. Yeah, I'll say Buffalo, Seattle, because I don't trust New Orleans just because of the quarterback situation. Unfortunately.
yeah, I don't think Drew Brees can get it done.
And it's just, I mean, he's
Actually that sucks to see, because Drew Brees is one of those guys that goes out and like you can see how bad he wants it. Like he wants to be better so bad, and he just can't get over the hump of like.
And it sucks too.
He needs all of it to click at the same time. Like it all has to go right for him. You know what I'm saying?
He's never had good defenses, and then the year that he finally has a good defense,
he breaks all of his ribs.
Yeah, and it's like he's been out for a couple weeks. I mean, it's still Drew Brees at the end of the day, but
yeah,
I don't know if I trust that team. Yeah, we'll go Buffalo, and we'll go Seattle.
All right.
All right, so I didn't write this down on the notes, but we got the fruit of the week. We gotta bring that one back.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, fruit of the week.
Fruit of the week this week is the cherry moya.
Oh.
CHERIMOYA. The cherry mora. So it's one of the most popular
I've
new
never seen one of these.
discoveries on
New? It's a new fruit? New fruit just broke?
on this website. On this website.
What's it called? A cherry what?
A cherry moya.
How the fuck do you spell that?
CHERIMOYA.
Oh, wait, say it again. CHE. Share?
Yeah. And then IMOY.
More? Oh, okay, here we go.
A.
The share. Oh. Whoa.
So this fruit, native to South America, is filled with a soft custard-like white flesh that gives it the nickname custard apple. It tastes like a combination of banana, pineapple, and bubblegum.
Cool. That looks like that's how it tastes, actually.
Yeah.
That looks fucking dope. That's a cool looking fruit.
I mean...
That's a cool looking fruit than David Bowie.
Tough.
How are ya?
All right. Let's keep it. All right, come on. That's just all right. Nah, so I guess you can find it in Latin American markets and well-stocked grocery stores.
That looks
I
like
have a feeling it's not a Stop
the
and Shop,
dragon
but
fruit from Fruit Ninja.
facts, but it ain't.
Okay. It's not a bad fruit.
Yeah. So if you ever had a cherry moya, let us know. I'm curious. See if my
Definitely, I have not had a cherry moya. I'd never even heard of it till you just said it. So
Yeah. So let's get into your bets of the week here. We'll go back to my other topic there afterwards.
okay. So yeah, this is something I was gonna
Just keep on the
excuse me.
football
Sorry,
talk,
let me
right?
readjust myself here. This is something I think I'm gonna start doing. So for those of you who don't know, I like to gamble when sports, and I had
It's a crippling addiction.
Actually, yeah, I just had to. Yeah, I just had to sell my
Foreclose
car.
the house.
Yeah, that's why we're moving. So I had two good bets this week. Actually, I had one that just cashed today. Listen to this bad boy. I had Team USA World Juniors, big hockey guy. How are you, Sound? And I had Team USA -3, and the over of +6.5. So, Matt, how often do you sports gamble?
I've never done it once. Don't even understand how it works.
Exactly. So I'll explain this to you. I think I might have done this already, but I'm not sure. I'll explain it again. So I had Team USA in the World Juniors -3. That means they had to win by 3 goals or more.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So
That's a pretty
to make it a little simpler, let's say
substantial amount.
let's say the game ends 5-3,
Yeah.
right? USA wins 5-3.
Yeah.
But you take that 5 and you subtract the 3 from it.
Yeah.
Then they end up losing 3-2. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's why they're -3. So that makes them the favorite by 3 goals. So I took USA -3, then the game for goals over at +6.5, which means they have to score. Both
7.
teams have to score combined more than 6.5 goals.
Yeah.
Exactly, 7.
Yeah.
And USA won 7-0. So they
Bruh.
covered both of those. Smoked them. Then I took earlier I had Dawson Knox, tight end for the Bills, to score the first touchdown of the game. $20 to win 210. And dude, they drive down the
He
field.
dropped it. I saw this shit.
And he dropped the fucking ball, dude, wide open in
That
the
was
corner of the end zone.
crazy.
And then they
That was
scored when he
crazy.
played the next game.
And he dropped.
Dude.
Someone dropped the ball before that too. The play before that too.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but
But that would have been it.
that's
I would have
crazy.
cashed on 210.
200. That's crazy.
A $210 drop.
Tough.
$210 drop.
Tough.
But I still, and then I took a live bet, and I bet that the result of the drive would be a touchdown. My boy Stephon Diggs ended up scoring, so all in all, it ended well. But I think this is what I'm going to start doing each week. I don't have any bets right now, but I'm going to list like 2 bets that I really like for the week. These will be dropping Wednesday, so I'll try to figure something out for the late games, whether it be basketball
It'll be Wednesday morning,
or...
so there won't be a.
Yeah.
It won't be a.
So, yeah, I mean, those were my 2 best bets of the week. One of them ended up not hitting, but
Yeah, I saw some guys. Are
I
winning.
was pretty pumped up with the USA -3 plus 6.5. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I saw some people winning on like a Wiseman first field goal of the game, like $200 on
Right.
that too. Or no,
Yeah,
$100.
Like
10 for
those
100.
are fucking hard to bet. That's
Yeah,
hard to bet.
yeah.
Like that's more of just like a
luck.
not a lot of real like
It's just luck.
what's it called goes
It's
into
just
that.
complete luck.
Yeah, that's mostly just luck. Like, but
Because all you need to do is fuck up like the inbound. Or no, whoever wins the jump ball. Like if they don't even win the jump ball, then it's like
Right.
you already lost your bet probably.
Those are just fun bets that you just do. But
Yeah.
like another one that's good is like for people who are betting, maybe just getting into betting. If you have a live betting, like a premium live thing on your bookie site, if you bet no first down for a drive in a football game, that's a fucking super fun bet. So it's before the drive starts, you bet that there's going to be no first down, and then those almost always pay out like plus 550, plus 750 sometimes.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
so it's just like, yeah, like they bet those pay out quite a bit.
How much do
you
you
hit
pay
those
for
all the
them?
time. I usually just throw like 10, so it's like you win, but you can win $55 on a 3-0. Like, and then
Oh
you can,
wait, okay,
and then right
okay,
there.
okay, got you. So it's like a multiplier.
Yeah, so yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
exactly.
okay.
So plus 550 would mean you'd have
Jesus
to.
Christ, I was like,
You
how-
bet
there's
100,
no
you
way.
win $550.
Yeah, okay.
But you bet 10,
That's a safe
you win
bet if you're
55.
betting against
It's
the
pretty
Patriots.
simple once you get into it. Yeah, but they don't always offer them for like every drive because sometimes it's like situationally it wouldn't make sense. Like it would make sense that
Like,
there
if
be
there's like a
no
there's a
first down.
flag or something. You're like a
No, because if you're betting before the drive, but
okay.
let's say it's the Pats are down by a touchdown with 15 seconds left to go in the game.
Yeah.
Or whatever, they're gonna go for it on fourth down. Like you already know, everybody knows they have to
Yeah.
if they get down to fourth down.
Yeah.
So then Vegas knows that obviously. So then like the payout would either be nothing or it would just not be an available bet because like the payout would be minus
Negligible.
2,000. Exactly. Yeah, it's like
Gotcha.
obviously they're not gonna get the first down more than likely. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So those are. I'll try to come up with some for everybody, but
Yeah,
There we go.
I mean, yeah, we can figure that out afterwards too, because I could probably
Yeah.
give you some basketball ones as well, just like
Exactly.
I understand it. But all right, what is this Devontae Smith AP Player of the Year?
Okay, yeah, so Devontae Smith, wide receiver for Alabama. He won the AP Player of the Year. He's the only receiver to ever do it. I think the award started getting awarded in 1998, so it hasn't been around too long, but still, it's pretty impressive.
20 years.
He has 98 receptions on the year for 1,500 yards, 17 touchdownes, and he's averaging 15.4 a catch. So he's
That's
putting up
ridiculous.
numbers, dude. Yeah, ridiculous numbers.
15.4.
And he's supposed to be, like, he's part of that core four that was, like, Jerry Jeudy, Adrian Waddle, and CeeDee Lamb, and then him. So it was supposed to be, like, Jerry Jeudy's phenomenal. CeeDee Lamb is supposed to be better than Jerry Jeudy. Adrian Waddle is supposed to be better than all three of them.
Yeah.
And then Devontae Smith was supposed to be good. I don't know if he was supposed to be better than Adrian Waddle, but he was supposed to be very good.
Mhm.
And then when Adrian Waddle went down with his ACL, I think he tore his ACL this year. I believe that's what it was.
Gotcha.
And then this kid's coming in to fill in, and he's just putting up Superman numbers. Like, it's insane. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, he should go very early, first round in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
AP Player of the Year is great. And he's also a Heisman finalist at a wide receiver, so that's pretty fucking crazy, too.
That's actually insane. 15.7 per catch.
15.4.
Oh,
0.4, but still, whatever.
I mean, that's just.
I mean, 15
insanity.
per. Like, come
That's
on.
just like deep
You're
ball
averaging
after deep ball, just like.
You're averaging a first down and a half every catch.
Literally.
Like,
That's insane. All right, I just want to get your intake on this. No information. Hopefully, you did no research. We were talking about this at work the other day. If there was a fight, all right,
Yep.
a fight, like just straight up, just one-on-one, who you taking?
Scrap.
Cat in the Hat or Pennywise the Clown? No research, no
Oh.
information.
okay. Like the animated one or like the Mike Myers one?
The Mike Myers one.
The live action
Yeah,
one?
they're both
Okay.
they're both the movie version of.
Well, I don't know if is the Cat in the Hat pretty. He's not very aggressive, is he?
I can't give you any information
Okay. All right.
because I don't want the viewers to be too informed. I'm gonna put up a poll after
Do
this.
you have like a counter argument for mine?
Maybe.
Do you have a okay? Let's see.
Actually,
Isn't
no.
Pennywise
I
like a
don't.
demon?
I don't. So, I mean, I could.
Isn't he
but
like
I'm
a
not gonna tell you.
supernatural? Like, isn't he like
Oh,
an alien
okay.
kind of?
I can give you that
right?
information.
I think.
I don't know.
If I remember the movie, I only saw like 2 scenes from the movie, but it was the one where he bit the kid's arm off,
Yeah.
and like his teeth came out of his head and shit. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is like clearly not a normal whatever the fuck. Like, it's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like a weird guy.
Nah, it's like a demon. Yeah.
Okay, so, the Cat in the Hat, he's pretty like fuck upable without dying. Like, he seems to get banged up quite a bit in the movies.
That is true.
Oh man, I haven't seen all of it, so I don't know. I've seen the Cat in the Hat a couple times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Pennywise though, because
Mhm.
I think he's like he's weird. Oh, he can transform, can he? Isn't that his thing?
Yeah.
Can't he like turn into other shit?
Yeah.
So can he just turn into like a bulldozer, like run him over or something?
I mean, the cat hat is I mean, theoretically, but I don't want to give you any help because I don't want the viewers or the listeners need to do their own research in order to make a good decision.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But
I think I still gotta go with Pennywise. I think because he could just turn into like water or something and then scare the cat.
Okay.
Are they afraid of water,
I picked
right?
the cat in the hat,
or cucumbers?
for the record.
You did?
Yeah.
Why?
I just did some research on him. He's pretty OP.
Okay.
But
all right. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna put that poll up on Twitter. Feel free to make your educated decision on who would win in a fight: Pennywise the clown versus the cat in the hat.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So, but I think that's about it. This one's a bit of a longer episode than usual, I think, but people want longer ones anyways. So.
And definitely, guys, please send us in stuff to talk about too, if you guys want to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not having any problems coming up with stuff, but like, if we definitely want to hear more feedback and rate, review, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Download it if you're even if you're not listening, just download it because be a homie, you know, just download.
Yeah, be a real one.
All right. Well, that's episode 4 wrapped up.
All right,
peace out.
Be kind to someone.